Hi, today I'll teach you how to use factors to simplify algebraic fractions. So the key concept to keep in mind is that you should see what you can factor out from the top and bottom of the fraction, and that will help you factorize it. So let's get used to some terminology. So every fraction will take the form of a over b. And this can be called the top, and b can be called the bottom. But a more technical term for it would be the top can be called numerator, and the bottom can be called the denominator. So you can hear this a lot when you're studying for the junior cert and leaving cert, and it's very helpful to know. So some common fractions are 1/2, 2/5, 6/10. So those are just some examples. Okay, so let's take this example. 5x plus 6xy divided by 4x. What will that equal to? So, like I said, we need to look for the highest common factor in each term. And in this case, in the numerator over here, and in the denominator over here. Okay, and so I think you can immediately see the common value in each of these terms. It's x. So we have an x here, we have an x here, and we have an x here, which means that we can take it out. So when you have one common value everywhere in the numerator and everywhere in the denominator, that means that you can factor it out. So in this case, we can rewrite this exactly the same except without the x's. So that will be 5 plus 6y over 4. Okay? All right, let's move on to another example. So we have x squared plus 3x plus 2 divided by x squared minus x minus 2. So now we have two quadratics, top and bottom, and this is going to involve some factorization. And if you haven't learned to do so yet, please check out our video on how to factorize quadratics. But anyway, we'll factorize the top and the bottom. So when we factorize the top, we get x plus 1 times x plus 2. And when we factorize the bottom, quadratic, we get x plus 1 times x minus 2. Okay, and notice something interesting. In this case, the highest common factor is x plus 1, because we have it in the numerator here, and we have it in the denominator. And so that means that we can cross it out from both. We'll cross it out here, and we'll cross it out here. And like we did before, we'll rewrite this expression without the x plus 1. So let's rewrite it. X plus 2 over x minus 2. Now, a common mistake that a lot of junior cert students will make is that they'll see the x and they will also try to continue factoring it out. So they'll see this and they'll see this and they'll think, oh, I can simplify this further. But you can't, because you don't have an x here, there's no x here, and there's no x here. So that means that you can't factorize it out. So just leave it as is, because this is the correct answer. Okay, let's try another example. Here, this one is a bit more difficult, but this is what it is. Okay. So you need to evaluate the expression when x is equal to 2. And the expression that's given is x squared plus 2x minus 8 divided by 3x squared plus 2x minus 16. So automatically we can see that we're going to be factorizing since these are quadratics. So if we factorize the numerator, we will get x plus 4 times x minus 2. And if we factorize the denominator, we will get 3x plus 8 times x minus 2. Okay. And automatically, once again, we can see that we have x minus 2 here and x minus 2 here, which means that we can cross it out and rewrite the expression without the x minus 2. So that means we'll get x plus 4 over 3x plus 8. And now we can sub in our x as 2. So we can rewrite that as 2 plus 4 over 3 times 2 plus 8, which is equal to 6 over 6 plus 8, which is equal to 6 over 14, which is equal to 3 over 7. Okay, now let me show you a common mistake that a lot of students will make. Without factorizing, they will automatically plug in 2 to this right here. So let's see what happens when we do that. We'll do 2 squared plus 2 times 2 minus 8 over 3 times 2 squared plus 2 times 2 minus 16. And if we tidy that up a bit more, we'll get 4 plus 4 minus 8 over 3 times 4 plus 4 minus 16. And in that case, we'll get 8 minus 8 over 16 minus 16, which is equal to 0 over 0. And if you get 0 over 0 when you're doing these questions, immediately think where you went wrong, because 0 over 0 is not an answer. It's simply undefined. And that's not what you're going to be looking for. You want to be getting an actual value. So chances are you simply didn't factorize the quadratics. So always remember, factorize the quadratics and you will get the value.